Very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the current affairs classes. I hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to cover 4th January CA, and I brought something new for you today. Okay, at the end I'll be telling you. So at the end, of course, short series top 5 MCQs would be discussed. So let's begin with the class. First section, ESI Finance and Business News. Let's see what do we have. Okay. So first news, is according to Nomura report. What is this Nomura report? Nomura is basically a global research agency. Okay, so lot kind of research they conduct. Accordingly, this Nomura report says that subprime borrowers, they are primarily taking on consumption based loans. Okay, so this Nomura report says subprime borrowers, they are primarily taking on consumption loans. First of all, you will need to understand what is subprime lending or who are subprime borrowers. So see, two category of borrowers you can divide, right? Or three categories. One which have a good credit history, good credit record. That means they have paid their loans at time and they have a good credit score or record. So they are the primary target of the banks, right? They will get loan at a lower rate of interest because risk is less there. Okay, risk is less. Now in other case, subprime borrowing, if we talk about, so subprime borrowers are those borrowers who have a bad credit history. Okay, bad credit history, subprime borrowers. Understood? Who are subprime borrowers? And when you lend to these subprime borrowers, since risk is very high, because they have had a bad credit history, not so good credit history, interest charge would be higher. This is subprime borrowing, right? Now, subprime borrowers, particularly those which have lesser credit score or bad credit history, they are primarily taking on consumption loans. This is the thing. What is consumption loan? So you are taking loan for consumption purposes basically, right? Not for investment purposes. Suppose day-to-day expenses, you are using that fund to meet your day-to-day expenses. Now there is very important point here which you need to understand. Okay, how does this consumption and investment loan is differentiated? I'll come to that. First of all, while those better off, those who are well and who have a very good credit score, good credit history, those who get loan easily from the banks, they are borrowing, for asset creation. So they are particularly borrowing for infrastructure purposes, right? And they are spending that amount on infrastructure or asset creation. Now this is leading to something called K-shaped credit market in India. So this is a new trend which is being observed. So remember this K-shaped. I'll explain you what is K-shaped. Okay. Now see, does anyone know that after pandemic, we saw a V-shaped recovery? There's a case study which says India, particularly I'm talking about, and most of the developed economies, they have witnessed a V-shaped recovery. V-shaped says what? Stark decline. So before the pandemic or during the pandemic, there was a sharp decline in the production activities, GDP, etc. Isn't it? Are you getting this point? Right? And then after the pandemic happened, the lockdown was lifted back and the restrictions were lifted. Again, the economy, it shooted up suddenly. So this was not a gradual rise. This was a sharp increase in the economic activities, right? So you see sharp increase. This was V-shaped. So there are these different shapes of economic growth which you should understand. You can include these terminologies in your answer writing as well. So a lot of factors they contributed, government expenditure as well. Lot of factors they contributed in sudden recovery. This is V-shaped. But when we are talking about K-shaped recovery, that Indian credit market right now is having K-shaped recovery. What is K-shaped? So if you look at this shape, K means some sectors are going up, okay, like this, and some sectors are going down. This is K. Okay, so when I say suppose one sector of the economy, for example, manufacturing sector is not performing very well, GVA is going down, but at the same time GVA of the services sector is going up. So there's a divergent growth trend among different sectors in the economy. This is K-shaped. Everyone understood? So when we are saying credit market is witnessing K-shaped recovery, you see consumption loans are rising, and the other ones, they are the asset creation wala loan, infrastructure based loan, capital based loan, they are declining. Okay, that shows some of the segments, some of the people in the economy are performing well. So this part of the K, like high net worth individual, those who are not subprime borrowers, they are performing well, while some of the consumer segment is not performing well and spending on consumption, so their growth is declining. This is the divergent trend. This is K-shaped credit market in India. Now I hope you will be able to explain this if they ask you in the interview or any other level, right? One more discussion which I need to do here is, what is the issue with that? If we say that many of them are borrowing for consumption purpose, that's okay. There should not be an issue. No, there has to be an issue. How? Tell me one thing, everyone. If you borrow for some asset creation, for investment purpose, and if you borrow for consumption purpose, for meeting day-to-day expenses, in which of these two borrowings cases of timely repayment would be higher? Anyone, tell me. Consumption-based loan or infrastructure loan? Consumption based loan or infrastructure based loan, which would be higher in terms of repayment? Chances would be higher in terms of repayment of the loan. Anyone? Shubham, thank you so much for the recognition, for the appraisal, and keep on studying. Consumption, infrastructure, consumption, no. Why? Anjali and Shubham, you are saying that consumption based loan may chances of repayment would be higher. No, this is the misconception. That's why I asked you this question, right? You need to understand this. And I'm going to explain you another concept that would be very interesting. Now, you see, when you borrow for consumption, you are consuming it. Nothing has been created against it, which can generate income for you to repay. Suppose आपने पैसा borrow किया and you have utilized it for say vacation, for consumption, अच्छे अच्छे रेस्टोरेंट में जाके आप खाना खा रहे हैं, सब कुछ उड़ा दिया, right? How do you get the money to repay it? If you are not earning, if something happens to your regular source of income, right? But if you have borrowed for infrastructure or capital creation, you have invested somewhere, so that investment will bring you returns, isn't it? And that return can be used to repay the loan, timely repayment. Everyone understood that? This is why, if I ask you, tell me one thing, fiscal deficit target set for Indian government as per the FRBM Act 2003-4 is 3% of GDP. But the revenue deficit target set for FRBM is less, I think 0.8 or 0.5 something, right? Why? The difference is this concept only, that revenue deficit is what? Revenue receipt, revenue expenditure minus revenue receipt, right? जिसमें हमें सिर्फ ये पता लग रहा है, if there is revenue deficit, that shows government, what is revenue expenditure? Government salary pay कर रही है लोगों की, कोई asset create नहीं हो रहा against it. Getting my point, right? So if there is deficit, nothing is there which can give you a return to repay the loan. So that might be a great loss to the economy if revenue deficit is higher. While when we talk about the fiscal deficit, it includes total expenditure. So capital expenditure, capital receipts, all these things. Capital expenditure क्या है? Government ने infrastructure पे invest किया, infrastructure से return मिलेगा government को, it would be a higher chance that the government repays it, right, on time. So that's why revenue deficit target is quite low and fiscal deficit target is quite high. So this is the difference. Always remember, do not take loan for consumption. Always take loan for investment or infrastructure purpose. I think a lot of concepts are clear from this thing. है ना? It was interesting. Okay. Yes, you should apply all the concepts when I'm telling you in the paid courses. You have to be sound on the conceptual clarity, isn't it? To qualify RBI Grade B and other examination. This was the entire news. So, news तो बहुत छोटी सी थी कि K-shaped recovery है, but उससे associated lot of concepts we have discussed. So your mind opens up, right? Now moving on to the next news. Next news is the work demand work demand in December 2024 under Manrega. Manrega is what? Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Manrega के तहत government wants to provide at least 100 days of employment in a year to the unskilled manual labor from rural areas. Those who don't have any skill, at least 100-day employment should be provided. And if they are unable to provide it, compensation is provided, right? 100 day, at least 100 day. It can be more than 100. So work demand in December under Manrega, it was higher, okay, 8.3% higher than the last period. That shows that manual unskilled labor is demanding work in the rural areas. They don't have other options. This is the thing. So remember this figure, 8.3% higher as compared to the same period in the last year. Okay, this is the thing. And nothing else is to be remembered here. Okay. One more important fact which we can remember from this is center has allocated 86,000 crore for the scheme in financial year 2025. For Manrega, 86,000 crore have been allocated by the central government. This is the another fact which you remember, right? 86,000 crores. And 100-day guarantee, I have discussed with you. Next question. Ministry of Finance has introduced a new tax rule allowing buyers to avoid tax deduction on purchases made from sellers operating within the International Financial Services Center, IFSC. So you see, we have only one such center in India as of now, the GIFT City. You all know that, है ना? Located in Jamnagar, Gujarat. GIFT City. Now, International Financial Service Center क्या होता है? Any such center which is providing you a lot of international financial services, right? Financial companies would be there and investment companies might come, AUM, asset management company, AMCs might be there, international, national. So it is interaction, it is a hub where you get the international financial services. And the ease of doing business is also there, right? So it is particularly kind of hub. And as of now, yes, we have this, okay, Gandhinagar mein, Gujarat, yes, GIFT City, है ना? GIFT City is there in Gujarat. This is IFSC Center for India. Now the thing is, what is the news? News is Ministry of Finance says, if you are a buyer, suppose you all are buyers and you are purchasing something from any seller located in such IFSC center, which is GIFT City in India. GIFT City के किसी भी seller से, if you are buying something, you need not, pay TDS or TCS on it. Tax deducted at source, tax collected at source. आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, right? So when you get your salary, TDS gets deducted at source only and then you get in hand. So हम जब बात करते हैं कि in hand salary कितनी होगी, so we take into account कि TDS वगैरह कट के कितना आएगा, right? ये सब आपको नहीं करना पड़ेगा. This is to promote the IFSC centers and financial activities right there. उसके लिए there is one condition applied which says that seller must submit a declaration detailing the previous years for which they are claiming tax deduction, and declaration must be in a prescribed format and verified according to government's guideline. So seller will have to give a declaration for this and that has to be brought by the buyer. In that case, no TDS, TCS would be deducted. If you are buying something from a GIFT City, for example, from a seller located in the GIFT City. So this is to ease out process and to enhance the opportunities and interaction of the other stakeholders with the GIFT City or other IFSC center which India has in future. I hope the news is clear, right? This is the thing, simple one. Then next thing, HSBC India Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, PMI. Purchasing Managers Index क्या होता है? It is an economic indicator which tells you the performance of the industry. So when we are talking about the manufacturing PMI, manufacturing industry ka performance, how much employment is there, how much demand is there, what is the production level, है ना? What amount is being supplied, what is the status of supply chain, all these things. So manufacturing industry ka economic status. According to it, PMI of HSBC compiled by S&P Global, India's manufacturing sector growth has slipped to 56.4 in December. 56.4 in December. Okay. Now remember in PMI figure, if the value is above 50 in the index, it means you are expanding. If the figure is below 50, that means there is a contraction in activities. Right? There is contraction in activities. it is 56.4, which is higher than 50, but still it has slipped down, which is not a good indicator for manufacturing sector. Acha, let me tell you one very typical thing. You will be happy to know this. A new case study, a case study which is earlier, but many of you don't know that India का जो growth trajectory है, it is like this, that we have jumped from the primary sector to the services sector. And manufacturing sector is something, so broadly 3 sectors are there, right? Quaternary, quinary की बात हम नहीं कर रहे. Traditional जो classification है, that we have primary sector like agriculture and all, then we have manufacturing sector, and then we have the tertiary sector or the services sector. If you compare the other economies like China, etc., who have developed so fast with the Indian economy, case study says India has jumped from primary to tertiary. That does not mean that we didn't work upon manufacturing sector. That means manufacturing sector में जितना potential था, we could not tap it, right? There's a lot potential in the manufacturing sector, lot of employment opportunities there, which we can capitalize upon. So already we have not capitalized upon the entire potential of manufacturing sector in India, and you see manufacturing sector is witnessing a downfall. This is how you can relate them with the previous trends as well. And you can argue that this is not a good indicator. We need to work for that. Okay, this is the thing. I hope it is clear. Then next is the, again, Global Research Agency, Nomura. Nomura has forecasted India's growth, economic growth for 24-25 fiscal year at 6%. This is something you can remember. For the entire 24-25, they have projected that Indian economy would be growing at 6%. Okay. And also the team expects the CPI, consumer price index based inflation, to deaccelerate to 4.9%. They are also expecting that CPI based inflation would be declining in India. Right? CPI, you all know, which measures the consumption expenditure of the households and measures inflation in the goods and services. Right? And what is the base year of CPI? Quickly tell me. What is the base year of CPI presently? 2012, remember. Okay. Then if we talk about the regulatory body news, so RBI has approved merger of National Cooperative Bank Limited, Bangalore, with Cosmos Cooperative Bank Limited, Maharashtra. So this is approval of a merger. You can remember this, who is going to merge the Cooperative Bank Limited, Bangalore, Karnataka, and Cooperative Bank, Cosmos Cooperative Bank Limited from Maharashtra. Now, another important fact is, now it is specifically 2012, okay, not 11-12, 2012. Remember, these things like merger, acquisition, which is the statutory provision which gives them power. Like RBI gets this power to approve such kind of mergers from which of the sections of which act? This is again very important question for all the examination, particularly for RBI, right? So remember, we are talking about merger. So this merger power has been exercised by RBI under subsection 4. Remember, under subsection 4 of section 44A, read with section 56 of Banking Regulation Act 1949. So Banking Regulation Act 1949 gives the power for approving such mergers. Two sections are to be read together for this purpose, 44A and 56. 44A and 56. Okay, good question. Every other organization is giving India's growth forecast. Which one to remember? Yes. So I get these kind of doubts almost regularly. First thing, remember, whenever you are appearing in the examination, 3 months data before it. Okay. And you know, international organizations जैसे World Bank, IMF, OECD, UN, इनका कोई भी projection है, you have to remember. Finance Ministry, Niti Aayog, RBI, and these top credit rating agencies like ICRA, है ना, CRISIL, इनका projection you have to remember. Nothing else. और वो भी सिर्फ 3 से 4 महीने पहले का. Not the entire years. तो यहाँ पे जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, if you are appearing in an examination after 3 months, that would be important. Otherwise, no. Okay. And very importantly, before any examination, Ashok sir is providing you a compilation of important data, like important GDP figures, important forecast. Just remember that, okay? You'll not have to go anywhere else. So don't worry about these things. We are always there for you. All right. So let's resume the discussion. Remember section 44A and section 56 of Banking Regulation Act 1949, and this is the merger. Next thing is, as of 31st December 2024, RBI has reported that 98.12% of 2000 rupee notes have been returned to the banking system. 98%, 98.12% they have returned. Now what is this? Remember one thing, 2000 denomination ke currency note, they just were, brought out of the circulation, but still they are a legal tender. Remember this thing, okay? What does that mean? When demonetization happened, yes, this CA series is enough for all the current affairs in RBI, right? CA series के लिए this is the thing, reports की अलग से series होगी, उसमें we will cover the important reports like financial stability report, etc. So that would be separate, okay? Reports के लिए you have to join the report classes. I'll be taking those classes very soon, okay? So what we were discussing is, yes, 2000 rupee note is still a legal tender. Legal tender मतलब क्या होता है? Something which is accepted as a medium of exchange officially, है ना? तो illegal नहीं है 2000 rupee note को रखना. It is the legal tender signed by the authority, which is the governor, right? But it is out of circulation. So what you can do if you have 2000 rupee notes, you can go with any of the issue departments or counters of RBI, and then you can exchange it, or via post also you can send this and that would be exchanged. So remember, acha 2000 rupee note क्यों लाए थे? When we had the demonetization of 100 and 500 rupee denomination of currency note, now to inject liquidity at that time, suddenly all the notes, they were absorbed out of the economy, right? So to maintain the liquidity, 2000 rupee notes were introduced, but then they were again brought out of circulation. This is the entire thing, but still it is a legal tender, remember. Next, RBI has laid down certain broad principles for lenders relating to participation in government debt relief schemes. Now, this is important. Government debt relief scheme. See, what happens is there's a common political stunt in India. कि before elections, you see these kind of promises. Farmers का loan waive off कर देंगे, है ना? Small and marginal farmers का loan waive off कर देंगे. Any other segment of the society which is not well enough to repay their loans, which are under the burden of loans, waive off कर देंगे. This is a political statement, right? So, a lot of state governments, political parties, even central government, they promise these kind of things. Now, if government has any such kind of government debt relief scheme, you are providing any such kind of loan relief, RBI ने उसके लिए guidelines निकाली है कि ठीक है, you announce those things, you provide such relief, but you will have to adhere to the prudential norms set out by the Reserve Bank. That relief scheme, that announcement or entire process in any way cannot be in contrast with the RBI's guidelines. This is the thing. So let's see, general guidelines are there, no technical guidelines, okay? First thing says that banks and financial institutions, they can choose to participate in DRS. If any government has announced such relief scheme for someone, banks or any other entity, financial entity, can participate into it. No issues with that, okay? But if any part of the scheme needs changes for the benefit of the borrower or prudential reasons, it should be communicated to the relevant authorities through state level bankers committee. State level bankers committee would be formed. There will be 2 classes for current affairs. No, this is only the class. We have combined class for phase 1, phase 2, right? The schedule is that we have these classes daily apart from Sunday. Sunday is off in the office. So 9:30 a.m. This is free on YouTube. Content is in the paid course. You can get the PDF. It is available in the paid course, but the classes are free. Okay. It is combined for phase 1, phase 2. That's why I'm explaining all the concepts to you. Very detailed explanation I give you in the CA. Okay. So if there is any change in any such a scheme, a committee, state level pe, all the bankers committee would be formed. You have to inform them. You cannot go without information. This is the first thing, right? Remember. Then banks and financial institutions, they must make sure that the borrowers chosen for such debt relief, they meet all the criteria of the scheme. जो भी क्राइटेरिया है वो मीट होने चाहिए. देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी डिस्क्रिपेंसी. ओके. If bank or financial institution, they waive off any interest or principal which has not yet realized, in that case it will be treated as compromise settlement. जो बैंक ने पैसा दे रखा था किसी को, गवर्नमेंट की किसी स्कीम की वजह से आपको वो पैसा नहीं मिला और आपको वेव ऑफ करना पड़ा, इट वुड बी कैटेगराइज्ड एज अ कॉम्प्रोमाइज सेटलमेंट. उसको हम क्या नाम देंगे? कॉम्प्रोमाइज सेटलमेंट. क्लियर? ओके. नथिंग टेक्निकल इज देयर, जस्ट जनरल गाइडलाइंस. फुल्ली सेटल्ड किसको कहेंगे? इफ द फंड्स रिसीव्ड बाय बैंक फ्रॉम सच डेट रिलीफ स्कीम कवर द फुल आउटस्टैंडिंग अमाउंट ऑफ द बोरोवर. Suppose government only repays the loan from a borrower side. There is a person A जिसको गवर्नमेंट ने बोला आपका लोन हम वेव ऑफ कर देंगे, और वो पूरा लोन जितना भी लाइबिलिटी थी वो बैंक के पास आ गया है वापस. द एंटायर प्रिंसिपल प्लस इंटरेस्ट हैज रिटर्न बैक टू द बैंक, देन इट वुड बी कंसिडर्ड एज फुल्ली सेटल्ड. Otherwise, any part remains outstanding, that would be considered compromise settlement. Clear? Everyone? Right? And one very important thing which you should be remembering here is, bank cannot create any receivable against the government under this. That means what? Bank अलग से कुछ charge नहीं कर सकता government से कि we are providing you this opportunity to implement such relief schemes, so we create any receivable against you. No. Bank will not claim any fund from the government for participating in such a process. This is the thing. All right. And before that, the government should consult with the state level bankers committee and district level consultative committees to create and formulate a plan for the implementation accordingly, right? Now, again, very important factors. If the lenders, they have outstanding dues from the previous DRS scheme, new scheme should only be introduced after securing full funding. Now, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, पहले भी गवर्नमेंट ने ऐसी स्कीम अनाउंस की थी, और सपोज देयर इज बैंक ए उस स्कीम की वजह से अभी तक पैसा रिकवर नहीं कर पाया. गवर्नमेंट ने सपोज कि पैसा नहीं दिया है. इफ देयर इज एनी अमाउंट आउटस्टैंडिंग फ्रॉम प्रीवियस स्कीम, न्यू स्कीम कैन नॉट बी इनिशिएटेड अनलेस द प्रीवियस अमाउंट इज सेटल्ड डाउन. ओके, अनलेस द प्रीवियस अमाउंट इज सेटल्ड डाउन. दिस इज द थिंग, रिमेंबर. Also, in the scheme, any such relief scheme provided by the government, you should not deliberately incorporate any clause which restricts the borrower, to timely pay. If borrower even pays some amount or the entire amount, whatever the scheme is, in that case, there should not be any provision which restricts the timely payment, है ना? And there should be compensation clause for any delays in the government's fund settlement. If government delays this, there should be compensation provided to the lenders. Okay. Another important fact is the implementation of such a scheme and all such settlement of claims by the government should generally be completed within 45 to 60 days. This is something which you should remember. 45 to 60 days के बीच में all this thing should be settled down. It should not take longer time. 45 to 60 days. And any such scheme should not be in conflict with any regulatory instruction from RBI or NABARD. किसी भी regulatory guideline के contravention में नहीं होना चाहिए. This is the entire thing. General guidelines are there to ensure transparency to ensure that any such political stunt or government relief scheme do not contravene the prudential norms set out by the regulators. I hope it is clear. Now moving on to the next segment, which is banking news. In banking news, we have, during a pre-budget consultation with the stakeholders from the financial sector, the FIDC. FIDC is what? Finance Industry Development Council. Finance Industry Development Council. What is this Finance Industry Development Council? Finance Industry Development Council or FIDC is representative of the NBFCs in India. जैसे आपके ट्रेड यूनियंस होते हैं ना, जो लेबर को ट्रेड को represent करते हैं, right? Similarly, you have FIDC, which is a representative body of the NBFCs in India. They are working towards more development of the NBFC sector. Okay, so in a meeting with pre-budget consultation, budget has to be presented, you all know that. With finance ministry, they have demanded something. What are the demands? These can be important. Let's see. Major reforms they have called for in the NBFC sector. First thing, that the loan amount threshold for enforcing security interest under the SARFAESI Act is 20 lakh. It should be reduced to 1 lakh. This is the demand. It should be reduced to 1 lakh. Remember, they are demanding कि SARFAESI Act में लोन अमाउंट का जो क्राइटेरिया है 20 लाख है. इफ देर इज एनी लोन डिफॉल्ट अप टू 20 लाख, एटलीस्ट 20 lakh or more, then it would be recovered through SARFAESI. So they are saying that this is quite higher. We have, small amount of loan which we need to recover, which are bad loans in NBFC sector. So reduce this threshold to 1 lakh. This is the first demand. What is SARFAESI? SARFAESI stands for, so SARFAESI you must be knowing, Securitization and Asset Reconstruction, okay, and Enforcement of Security Interest Act, SARFAESI Act. So SARFAESI Act क्या है basically? SARFAESI Act is a statutory provision which provides you securitization of the asset or reconstruction process. कहने का मतलब ये है, if banking system is having NPA, lot of NPA are there in banks, lot of NPA are there in NBFCs, it provides you a mechanism via which that can be recovered. For example, there is the person A who has defaulted, okay, defaulted on loan. So that has become NPA, non-performing asset. That loan has converted into a bad loan. It is not coming back to the institution, to the bank. What can happen under SARFAESI? You have two provisions. You can use ARCs, Asset Reconstruction Companies, ARCs. You can, with the help of ARCs, auction any collateral which is there placed against the loan. Suppose this person A has taken a loan of 1 lakh rupees. Just for an example, 1 lakh rupees जिसके अगेंस्ट में, चलो 1 लाख छोटा हो गया, से 25 लाख रुपीज, ओके, 25 लाख रुपीज का लोन लिया, उसके अगेंस्ट में होम लोन था, तो अपनी कोई जमीन या अपना कोई घर गिरवी रख दिया, कोलेट्रल है ना, मॉर्टगेज कर दिया उसको. सो नाउ दैट बैंक हैज दैट हाउस एज एन एसेट टू रिकवर दिस लोन ऑफ पर्सन ए. यस और नो? एवरीवन, आर यू कैचिंग अप? राइट? उस घर को बेच के the loan can be recovered by the bank. This is the option, right? So SARFAESI provides you these mechanisms that you can do this. If it has converted into NPA and after a lot of warnings and opportunities given to the borrower, the NPA is not recovering, in that case you can sell the property placed against that loan amount. You can auction it. A fair auction should be there. Auction से highest bid पे जो भी price आपको मिलेगा, that way you can recover the loan. ARC की मदद ले सकते हो. ARCs, Asset Reconstruction Companies, they particularly acquire such bad loans. ARCs क्या करती हैं? इंस्टीट्यूट से बैड लोन खरीदती है, राइट, और उसको ऑक्शन करती है और रिकवर करती है. सो डायरेक्टली यू कैन डू दैट, और विद द हेल्प ऑफ ARC यू कैन डू दैट. बैंक्स जनरली डायरेक्टली नहीं करते बिकॉज दिस इज नॉट अ कोर फंक्शन ऑफ द बैंक, राइट. जनरली ARCs की मदद लेते हैं. दिस इज द SARFAESI mechanism, and the body, the representative of NBFCs, they are demanding कि इसको 20 lakh से 1 lakh कर दो. Why? So if they ask you this question in the interview, See, I'm preparing you. I'm assuming that you will go to the interview, है ना? That's why I keep on saying if they ask this question in the interview, why to assume less? Why to imagine less? There's a famous saying that always shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among these stars. Did you get that? Always shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you will at least land among these stars. If you shoot for these stars, you'll not gonna land on the moon, right? So, Suraj, is the same process as securitization? No. Securitization is a bit different. Securitization में हम क्या कर रहे हैं, जो लोन है उसको इन्वेस्टमेंट, उसको सिक्योरिटीज में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं, जिससे इन्वेस्टमेंट आएगा, उसका ऑक्शन नहीं कर रहे. Surface Met is providing you auction mechanism. So this is the difference. Clear? $20 lakh से कितना कर दो? 1 lakh कर दो. Why? Recently, RBI is constantly monitoring NBFCs in India, particularly 50,000 तक का जो लोन है, smaller loan segment, and that to consumer loan or retail loan segment, lot number of defaults are there. So they need to recover them. अगर आप 20 लाख का threshold रखोगे, 20 lakhs threshold, it would not be eligible under SARFAESI to be auctioned. The properties collateralized would not be auctioned. So that is the first demand. I hope you have understood, right? To reduce this threshold to 1 lakh. Second demand is, currently NBFCs are subject to TDS on interest payments. Any interest which NBFCs receive, like from deposit, term deposit NBFC accept कर सकते हैं, demand deposit नहीं कर सकते. जो भी interest NBFCs receive कर रही हैं, they are liable to pay TDS. Banks के लिए नहीं है, ठीक है? So they are demanding, this body FIDC is demanding कि bring it in par with the banking system. Why are you being biased? So this is not biased. NBFCs, they need to work, you know. Banking system is quite performing well on all the performance indicators if you see. But NBFCs पे थोड़ी सी scrutiny ज़्यादा होनी ज़रूरी है ना? So they are saying कि TDS जो हम interest पे देते हैं वो भी हटा दो. जैसे banks को नहीं देना पड़ता वैसे हमको भी ना देना पड़े. This is the thing. Okay? So these are the important demands. 10% TDS they have to pay, so they want this to be exempt. So 20 lakh का threshold से delayed resolution हो रहा है. We are not able to recover our NPA, reduce it to 1 lakh and 10% TDS exempt. This is the demand. Let's see what happens. I hope you have understood the entire process. SARFAESI, ARC, and what are the demands of FIDC. Clear? Now let's move to the next news. Bharat Pay is all set to sell 25% stake. You can remember this. Bharat Pay is planning to sell 25% of its stake in the Unity Small Finance. Okay? And with this, it will be raising around $800 million. This much is relevant. So, in the Unity Small Finance, Bharat Pay has 25% of stake, is planning to sell it. Moving on to national and state news. First thing, the 10 kilowatt FM, which is a frequency modulation transmitter, it was inaugurated at Akashvani Kokrajhar from Guwahati. So this is a transmitter which has been inaugurated, 10 kW FM, where at Akashvani Kokrajhar in Guwahati. What is the importance of this? This basically is a platform for promoting rich cultural heritage of Kokrajhar's diverse tribal and community groups. What is this? This transmitter is going to lead to better communication in the region. Transmitters क्या करते हैं? Communicate करने में help करते हैं, right? So it is enhancement in the broadcasting capabilities. Broadcast होगा, communication होगा. That is going to enhance broadcasting capabilities. Now this region is dominated by tribal communities. So tribal communities से we will be better able to engage. This is the thing. Okay. Then we have Mira Bhayanda Municipal Corporation, MBMC. It has conceptualized a initiative, a flagship initiative called Faral Sakhi. Faral Sakhi. Faral क्या होता है? Faral एक स्नैक होता है ना, ट्रेडिशनल स्नैक है. अगर आप गूगल करोगे तो आपको फोटो मिल जाएगी. ऐसे गोल गोल करके चकली होती है, एक है ना, lot of things are there. So Faral is a traditional snack. Now this MBMC has conceptualized this initiative Faral Sakhi. Faral Sakhi क्या है? the women are particularly associated with, production of these kind of traditional snacks. So they want to empower such women who are engaged in this creation or production of furals, which is a traditional snack, in the city of Meera Bhayandar in Maharashtra. So this is a city in Maharashtra. वहाँ की women के लिए this is initiative that they will be promoting their product, they will be providing them marketplace to sell their product, and will be empowering the women. This is the thing. Okay. And for this, remember one thing, that for this municipal corporation has collaborated with whom? Collaborated with the Women Entrepreneurship Platform of the Niti Aayog. Remember. For this, they have collaborated with the Women Entrepreneurship Platform of the Niti Aayog. So this partnership, remember, what is this Women Entrepreneurship Platform of Niti Aayog? Niti Aayog in 2018 has incubated this Women Entrepreneurship Platform, via which they are promoting and they are collaborating for women empowerment initiatives. Okay. In public-private partnership as well. So private entities, they can participate. PPP model pe, public-private partnership. Like providing access to finance to all such women who want to work, market linkage, providing them market-based linkages, market access, training them, providing them skills, mentoring them, providing them networking, and legal assistance, business development, ये सारी चीजें उनको provide कराता है. So remember this Women Entrepreneurship Platform of Niti Aayog 2018. Next we have Omkareshwar Floating Solar Park. Omkareshwar, a very important place. Mythological significance is also there, right? So Omkareshwar Floating Solar Park is the largest floating solar park in India. Remember this fact first of all. India का सबसे बड़ा floating solar park है. Floating मतलब it is not on land, it is there on a water body, right? Floating. It is made in such a way that it floats over a water surface. It is largest floating solar park in India, located in Khandwa district of Madhya Pradesh. Khandwa district of Madhya Pradesh. So this Omkareshwar floating solar park is recently in news, right? It has been commissioned with a total of 278 megawatt of power generation. That's why this is important. Remember these facts about Omkareshwar floating solar park. Next, you have Blinkit has announced 10-minute ambulance service in Gurugram. So in Gurugram, Blinkit has announced 10-minute ambulance service. This is a great initiative, and I think this is something which Blinkit should be appraised for, right? Apart from 10-minute Instamart services and grocery services, ambulance service is important, because ambulance not reaching on time at the required place is one of the greatest issues in India. So let's see how do they figure it out. How will they be able to provide 10-minute ambulance service? But if it is successful, it should be rolled out to other places. Right now, it has been started at Gurugram. And it will be equipped with medical equipments like, oxygen cylinders, AEDs, which help in cardiac arrest, stretchers, monitors, suction machines, emergency kits, they will be there. 2000 rupee का charge अभी इन्होंने रखा है. Fee is 2000, okay, for the ambulance service. But they have clearly mentioned that there is no neonatal or ventilator care. Ventilator care available नहीं है, बाकी सारी services available हैं इसमें, okay. So Blinkit is in news. You can remember the CEO of Blinkit, Albinder Dhinsa, and Zomato CEO Dipinder Goyal. इनको आप जानते होंगे Shark Tank की वजह से, right? Then Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MEIT ने एक target set किया है that electronics production for India by 2030 should be $500 billion. Okay. MEIT has said that electronics production में we want to enhance our capabilities. And we have set a target. Target is by 2030, our electronic production should be worth $500 billion. Okay, remember this target, $500 billion. And this aim under discussion is to bring India's share in global electronic production from 6 to 7% by 2030. $500 billion ka production of electronics we are aiming to achieve by 2030. Remember this target, so that in the global production of electronics, we have a share of a range from 6 to 7% by 2030. Moving on to state news. State news mein we have Telangana Chief Minister has unveiled a scheme called Raitu Bharosa. Raitu Bharosa. Okay. Raitu basically in their language means farmer. Raitu in their language means farmer, in the local language, farmer. So Raitu Bharosa is a basically financial assistance scheme to farmers where they are providing financial assistance. This is not a loan. This is one-side payment assistance they are providing. Okay, where the annual investment support of 12,000 per acre they are promising to farmers. Ki annually to such eligible farmers, 12,000 rupees per acre we will be offering you as a support to do your activities, right? So remember this amount, 12,000 per year, okay, per acre, 12,000 per year per acre. Remember this amount. But if the land is unsuitable for farming, this is only for farming purposes. If the land is suppose barren, it is mining area, it is being used for other purpose, commercial purpose like real estate, then there will be no assistance. Only such land being utilized in farming activities will be getting 12,000 rupees of assistance annually per acre. Remember. Then next is Assam has recorded an elephant population of 5,828 during the elephant population estimation 2024. So this can be important, remember. Elephant population in Assam is important. Why? Assam is one of the important habitats of elephants. So in northeastern states you find elephants like in Assam. In southern states, some of the regions you find elephant. And if you want to know more about the elephant conservation efforts and more about elephants, there's a movie which has got Oscar for India, The Elephant Whisperers. You can go and watch, this is a short film, right? Elephant Whisperers. So Assam has recorded elephant population of 5,828 during this survey. Now what is important is that 43 forest divisions in Assam were covered for this. And it states that 82% of the total population are within 5 elephant reserves in the state. This entire population ka 82% is located in 5 elephant reserves in the state of Assam and highest in your Chirang Ripu Elephant Reserve, Assam. So highest elephant density is where this can be important, remember. Highest elephant density is in Chirang Ripu Elephant Reserve, Assam. Chirang Ripu Elephant Reserve, Assam. Remember this. Okay. I hope the news is clear. Now moving on to international news. So HMPV virus is spreading. You all know that China is currently experiencing this sudden shootout in the HMPV cases. HMPV stands for Human Metapneumovirus. Okay. Human Metapneumovirus, HMPV, which is leading to a lot of concerns. What are the symptoms like cough, fever, runny or blocked nose, sore throat, wheezing, shortness of breath? All these are symptoms with which you can identify it. And it is caused by a virus which belongs to the same viral family responsible for measles, mumps, etc. Right? It is very quickly communicable, right? You know, like the corona was. So touching any infected surface via breathe contact, or say if someone is coughing or sneezing in front of you, it can be easily transmitted. So you need to wear mask, you need to sanitize your hands. If you have touched any suspected surface, you need to sanitize the products, right? This is the prevention which you can have. And the cause of concern is there is currently no antiviral treatment available for this. Currently there is no antiviral treatment available for this. Okay, this is the cause of concern. Then talking about MOUs and mergers. So remember, Noida International Airport has entered into a 30-year agreement. Noida International Airport has signed an agreement with IOCL, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, for what? That they will be providing fuel stations at 3 major locations within the airport. So Noida International Airport will be providing with this agreement, they will be operating 3 fuel stations at Noida International Airport. Okay. And for this, the agreement has been signed with Indian Oil Corporation Limited. Then Uttarakhand Tourism Development Board has signed MOU with ITBP, Northern Frontiers Headquarters, ITBP, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, okay? ITBP के साथ, why? To expand heli services in the state remote areas. Heli services, the helicopter services they want to expand. It has a lot of benefits. If you have quick heli services, medical emergencies can be catered, right? Equipments can be provided, arms and ammunition to the army can be provided. The public can get benefit out of this. So this is the thing. And remember, Uttarakhand as a state sharing international boundaries. So two countries it shares the boundaries with, Nepal and Tibet. Next, moving on to science and tech, Department of Scientific and Industrial Research has celebrated recently its 40th Foundation Day, remember, okay? So the DSIR of Indian government, Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, it has recently celebrated 40th Foundation Day on 4th January, okay, at Janpat. Next, talking about defense. So in defense, we have Indian naval sailing vessel Tarini. Tarini is in news. What is Tarini? Tarini is Indian naval sailing vessel. Okay, it has left the Lyttelton port in New Zealand and it is set to go to Port Stanley in Falkland Islands. It is set to go to Port Stanley in Falkland Islands. Now the thing is, why this is in news? So there's this expedition going on. First of all, remember this is longest leg of expedition with distance of approximately 5,600, or 10,400 kilometers. Longest expedition from any Indian vessel, naval sailing vessel. Now, another important thing is it will also be the southernmost transit of Tarini. Is going at the southernmost level at 56 degrees south. Okay. Very important fact apart from all these things are this expedition or this Tarini is being undertaken by 2 Indian Navy women officers. So you have to remember these 2 names of the Indian Navy women officers. First name is Lieutenant Commodore Dilna K and the other name is Lieutenant Commodore Rupa A. They are leading this expedition on Tarini. So this was about it. Next thing, due to delay in promotions, government has announced that they will be providing honorary senior ranks for eligible Central Armed Police Force personnel a month before they retire. See what happens is CAPF personnel, they get these promotions. They get honorary ranks, but after they retire, what would be the use, right? So to boost their morale, before 1 month of their retirement, they will be provided with this honorary rank. This is the plan of the government. Nothing else here is relevant. Now talking about reports. So we have Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change report. It says for November 23 to June 2024. This is important. Please remember. This is important. How much? 67%. 67% of the major forest fires in India, they were extinguished within 24 hours. So it says India is well, equipped with containing the forest fires. So we are becoming good in this task. Forest fires jitni bhi hui thi in the entire course of time, out of them, 67 have been extinguished within 24 hours. So remember this data, 67%. Okay, which was only 33% in the previous year. So almost double the jump, right? More than double the jump. Then reason, faster information dissemination and improved coordination. So coordination between various departments has improved. Faster information dissemination with the use of technology is there. This is the thing. And if you see in this season, number of forest fires detected by the Forest Survey was your 2,03,544. Coming to a very important fact, you can expect a question on this static portion. Tiger reserves in India. Presently, how many tiger reserves are there in India? It has increased to 57. Remember this figure. Total tiger reserves in India, which are particularly cater for conservation of tigers, right? Under the Project Tiger by NTCA. National Tiger Conservation Authority. Tiger reserves in India presently 57. 2 new tiger reserves have been added recently. So you have to remember their names. First is and their location. Guru Ghasidas Tamo Pingla Tiger Reserve in Chhattisgarh and Ratpani Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh. These are the latest addition. Remember them. These are the latest addition in tiger reserves in India. So with this addition, total number of tiger reserves in India stands to be 57. Okay. Remember Guru Ghasidas Tiger Reserve from Chhattisgarh and Ratpani Tiger Reserve from Madhya Pradesh. Then next is the Unified District Information System for Education Plus, UDISE Plus. There's a data released by Education Ministry. It says 99.1% of Delhi schools, they have functional laptops or desktops, compared to 32.4% across the country. Delhi schools are really performing well. It is a case study which all other states should learn from, right? Not talking about any other political dimension, just the performance of the Delhi schools. So the report of the Ministry of Education also says Delhi schools mein how much? 99.1% of the desktops which are installed there are in proper functioning, as compared to the nation's average, which is only 32.4. Right? And if you see state-wise record data they have provided, Assam had the least number of schools with functional desktops. If you see overall, which state has least number of functional desktops? Assam. Assam has the least number of functional desktops. And Chandigarh tops the list. So if you see after that, Chandigarh has maximum and Meghalaya is at the bottom. Teaching learning devices mein. Okay. Now this is the national one. Let's see other important facts highlighted in this report. So first of all, remember दिल्ली स्कूल्स के इतने हैं, आसाम में सबसे कम स्कूल्स हैं जिनके पास फंक्शनल डेस्कटॉप्स है, फॉलोड बाय बिहार एंड झारखंड. एंड इंटीग्रेटेड टीचिंग लर्निंग डिवाइसेस इंक्लूडिंग ऑल द डिवाइसेस, चंडीगढ़ इज एट द टॉप एंड लोएस्ट पे कौन है? मेघालय. राइट. Other important facts highlighted by this report, all these are national data. First, enrollment of the student. At the national level, student enrollment in these schools, it has declined. Not a good indicator, right? Declined. So total student enrollment was 24.8 crore in 23-24. It is now 24.18. It has declined. A 6% decline is there from previous level. Then next, gender-wise enrollment की अगर हम बात करें, तो boys का enrollment has also fell down, girls का enrollment has also fell down. So there is no gender disparity here. School enrollment for both boys and girls has fallen down in India, right? Next, regional variation की बात करें, so remember these three names, Bihar, UP and Maharashtra, they have witnessed the highest drop in enrollment. That means सबसे ज़्यादा enrollment में जो decline हुआ है, it is in 3 states. सबसे ज़्यादा decline enrollments में जो हुआ है, school enrollments में, बिहार, यूपी and महाराष्ट्र. Remember these 3 states, बिहार, यूपी and महाराष्ट्र. Okay. Then over 90% of these schools, they have basic amenities like electricity and gender specific toilets, so that is good. But the concern is school dropout. This should not be there. Okay. Talking about awards and books, so we have one very famous Odia poet, Prativa Satpathy, will be receiving the prestigious Gangadhar National Award for Poetry 2023. So remember, this time the Gangadhar National Award, which is a recognition for excellence in poem writing, will be provided to Prativ Satpathy, okay, from Odisha. And Gangadhar Meher के नाम पे इनका नाम रखा गया है. This is the thing. Then we have veteran director and writer Sai Paranjape will be honored with Padmapani Lifetime Achievement Award at the Ajanta Ellora International Film Festival. So remember, famous director and writer Sai will be receiving this Padmapani Lifetime Achievement Award 2025. Then talking about festivals, so we have Union Ministry of Information Broadcasting taking part in New Delhi Municipal Corporation's Exam Warrior Art Festival. This is in news. Exam Warrior Art Festival. Now remember, what is this? There will be helping students build positivity कि आपको एग्जाम का स्ट्रेस नहीं लेना है, etc etc. And this is inspired from the book of Prime Minister of India, which is the Exam Warrior. Okay, there's a book written by Prime Minister, Exam Warrior, or the idea inspired by Prime Minister, Exam Warrior. So it is inspired with this. This is the festival Delhi mein. Then talking about appointments, you have Jyoti Sharma appointed as NESCOM Foundation CEO, Faiz Ahmed Kidwai appointed as Director General of your DGCA. This is important, remember, Director General of Civil Aviation. Then Jatinder Pal Singh appointed as CEO of ITI Asset Management Limited. Ashutosh Agnihotri appointed as Chairman and MD of FCI. This is again important. Remember this name if you are not able to remember all of them. Ashutosh Agnihotri, Chairman and MD of Food Corporation of India. Rajendra Arlekar, 23rd Kerala Governor. Arif Muhammad Khan, 42nd Governor of Bihar. Mike Johnson, USS House Speaker. And Vitul Kumar has appointed as Central Reserve Police for DG. Okay, DG of the CRPF. So these were the important appointments which we had for as of 4th January. Obituaries mein we have one name, Agnes Keleti. Okay, very famous, world's oldest Olympic champion. Okay, famous for being the world's oldest Olympic champion and a Holocaust survivor as well. Has passed away at 103. So this person was a famous gymnast and the oldest Olympic champion. Remember, 10 Olympic medals were won. So that was it for 4th January CA. Now it's time for the top 5 MCQs in the short series. I hope you will be answering them. Question number 1. During a pre-budget consultation with the stakeholders, the FIDC, Finance Industry Development Council, has put out some demand for the development of the NBFC sector. Read these statements below and tell me which of them is incorrect accordingly. Read these statements and tell me which of them is incorrect. You have recently subscribed the course No Knowledge of Economics and Finance. See, if you don't have economics and finance knowledge, you have to have strong concepts, right? You can watch my editorial classes. Also from February onwards, I will be starting the editorial. So in editorials, you will be provided with important concepts which are in news, है ना, क्योंकि उससे पहले का यूज में भी नहीं आएगा आपके एग्जाम में. February से we will cover in editorial session. Financial concepts would be clear. You can do one thing, like I am covering your ESI segment for RBI. So watch the classes, all the concepts which I am giving you, read them, right? Finance के conceptual clarity होनी चाहिए in the CA as well. That's why I say watch the class, because we are not discussing the information here. Apart from the information, we are also discussing the phenomena with the concepts. So that would help you in understanding economics and finance. This is how you can approach. Also in CA, we are providing you glossary or financial guide at the end. Okay, finance guide at the end, that you can go all through the terminologies to boost your vocabulary. And you can read the newspapers if you have time. Don't read the entire one, just read the editorial ones, and you will not be able to understand at the initial phase, but then select the important terminologies and try to find out them. This is what you can do, right? Okay, so first ka answer we have got, you are saying E, none of the above is incorrect. Okay, so that is true, all of them are correct. Unki demand kya thi? 1 lakh kar do threshold ko. Then 20 lakh is the present one, also exempt us from the 10% TDS requirement on interest received, right? So yes, none of them is incorrect. All of these statements are correct. E should be the right option here. Next question. According to Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, forest fire season mein India has been able, out of how much percentage of the major fires in India were extinguished within 24 hours? How much percentage of the total forest fires in India were extinguished within 24 hours? Very good. 67%, right? 67%. Next question. According to UDI SE Plus data recently released by Education Ministry, which of these states have witnessed maximum drop in the school enrollments? Maximum drop in the school enrollments have occurred in which of these states? Tell me, which of these states have witnessed the maximum drop in the school enrollments? Question number 3. Very good. A is the correct option here. 3 states, Bihar, UP and Maharashtra. Bihar, UP and Maharashtra have witnessed maximum dropout in school enrollments, right? Bihar, UP and Maharashtra. Next question. According to the Nomura report, Indian credit market as of now is witnessing which shape of recovery? Indian credit market right now is having which shape of recovery? V-shaped, K-shaped, J-shaped, U-shaped, none of the above. Which of the shape of recovery? K-shaped, very good. K-shaped, we have discussed, this was the first news today, K-shaped recovery. And I have explained you what is K-shaped, right? Last question of the short series. Consider the following statements and select the correct options here. Read all these statements and tell me which is the correct option. 3 statements are there. Read them carefully. Tell me the correct ones. Tell me the correct ones. Anyone? Which is the correct option? Quickly. B, 1 and 2. Very good. So this is true. Noida International Airport ने IOCL के साथ agreement sign किया है. Then Department of Science ने 40th Foundation Day celebrate किया है. Then work demand under Manrega has increased by 7.3%? No. It has increased by 8.3%, right? So this is not 7.3, this is 8.3% higher than the previous level. Hence 1 and 2 only are correct. Option B is the correct one here. Now what I have brought something new for you is from today onwards, I will be giving you one homework question at the end, right? This is your homework question. You will not be answering right now. You will be answering in the comment section. So one learning exercise will be there, a question for you to tell me in the comment section, comment the answer in the comment section regularly, okay? Out of the discussion itself, it will be there, whatever we have discussed in the class. So this is the new learning exercise. Just one question will be there. No burden on you, right? One question. So this is the homework question for today. Tell me everyone the answer in the comment section. Bharat Pay, under the aegis of resilient innovation, is planning to sell how much percent of its stake in Unity Small Finance Bank to raise funds around $800 million. Okay, this is your homework question for today. No, you need not prepare short notes of daily current affairs. What will happen is you will end up publishing an entire book. तो हम क्या करते हैं कि because all the document itself is very important, almost everything is important, है ना, which has been incorporated. So you will be publishing another book of CA. No use of it. Just do the multiple revision. Concepts तो हम क्लास में डिस्कस कर ही रहे हैं, है ना. फैक्ट्स के लिए you can create a Excel sheet, a fact sheet, और वो भी अभी से ज़रूरत नहीं है, एग्जाम के 3 या 4 महीने पहले से, right? Multiple revision would be sufficient, would be more effective. किताब नहीं छापनी हमको दोबारा, क्योंकि उसको फिर आप दोबारा पढ़ोगे नहीं. शॉर्ट नोट शॉर्ट रहते नहीं एक्चुअली, राइट? So this is the homework question. I hope you all will be answering this. This is your learning exercise. Daily I'll give you one question in this learning exercise. So this was the class. A lot of things we have discussed, and I hope this was useful for you, you have enjoyed the class. I will see you all in the next session. Till then, thank you so much and have a great day. Thank you.